Prior to working with you, it was basically just organic Instagram DMs, if I'm being honest. No real system behind it. The system was kind of rubbish and haphazard, so to say. Which I'd say it's become a lot more streamlined and predictable. Predictable in the sense of, we can quite accurately gauge how many leads we're going to get, let's say in a day or a week or whatever. And with that, we're able to come up with like plans in terms of what to do with those leads or things that we may need to do in order to increase the volume of leads or potential prospects we do get.
What were you surprised about in regards to my service, and did you have any misconceptions before starting?
Yeah, so the complexity of ads, right? There was even a period where, we just tried to do it ourselves, right? I was just like, what on earth is this shit? Like, there's so much to juggle and learn. And so a misconception is thinking that it's just straightforward and easy, right? I learned the hard way that it is not. So it's either like you pay with your time or you pay with money. I'd much rather pay with money a lot of the time. Even more recently, actually, I might as well talk about recent stuff. We've had a ton of leads.
Hi guys, it's Midday, founder and CEO of ASL Market, and I'm here with friend and client RJ Hussle. So RJ, if you'd like to briefly describe yourself and what you do.
Yeah, sure thing. So my name is RJ Hussle, otherwise known as Reese. I am a property developer and co-founder of Property Hustle, which is basically like a property development consultancy where we help other people and guide them in learning how to buy and develop property as well as raise money online through social media, as I've done myself.
Cool. How long have you been doing that for, Miles?
Since around 2022, late 2022, I'd say. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so do you think you could describe what your process for client acquisition was like before working with us?
So before, well, tell a lie, I'd started my journey in property in 2022. If we're talking about the consultancy stuff, then basically this year, the start of this year. And prior to working with you, it was basically just organic Instagram DMs, if I'm being honest. No real system behind it. I guess that is some form of a system, but the system was kind of rubbish and haphazard, so to say. So it was, yeah, just posting content and then people would reach out and they request basically access to me, and that was all it was. So that was it before. Obviously now it's a lot more streamlined, but we can get to that.
Okay. So would you say part of the problem was that because you focused on organic, it was more of it was not really as predictable and scalable compared to other methods like paid ads?
Yeah, it's fair to say that. It's fair to say that, with organic, the only thing really in your control is the content you produce. You don't really have any control or predictability in terms of the, how many eyeballs it can get. Like I can post a video now, it can go viral, get like 100,000 views, and then the next one can only get like 10,000 or 5,000. So there can be drastic shifts in
Yeah.
viewership and exposure.
Okay, that makes sense. So then next question I'll ask is, how has your process for property coaching changed since working with us?
How it's changed, I'd say it's become a lot more streamlined, streamlined and predictable. Predictable in the sense of, we can quite accurately gauge how many leads we're going to get, let's say in a day or a week or whatever. And with that, we're able to come up with like plans in terms of what to do with those leads or things that we may need to do in order to increase the volume of leads or potential prospects we do get. So I'd say the process has changed in becoming more streamlined in that sense and then predictable as well.
Okay. Okay. So that makes sense. So obviously being a property coach, trying to juggle things like content, product fulfillment, client acquisition, a lot of the challenges that people talk about is that things can be very time consuming. So I just want to ask you, can you describe the time commitment required from your end during our collaboration and like what responsibilities did you have and what did we take care of?
That's a big thing that you touch on there because my main thing is still being able to buy and develop myself, right? Like I don't want this to basically erode my ability to continue to do ultimately where my passion lies. So at the start, it was very time consuming, trying to do it all myself with my business partner. But then once we introduce you into the mix, especially of recent, sorry, with the more consultancy tailored approach, the time commitment is literally the time we spend on the call. We
Yeah.
implement said changes and then pivot, monitor things as they go along, which doesn't really take any time at all. So if I had to say a particular time frame in a given week, maybe an hour, 2 hours, maybe three max.
Okay, that's good. And so, next question I want to ask is, what were you surprised about in regards to my service, and did you have any misconceptions before starting?
Yeah, so the
Hmm.
complexity of ads, right?
Hmm.
There was even a period where, we just tried to do it ourselves, right?
Hmm.
When me and you had that conversation, and then I was just like, what on earth is this shit? Like, there's so much to juggle
Yeah.
and learn. And
Hmm.
so a misconception is thinking that it's just straightforward and easy, right?
Hmm.
I learned the hard way that it is not. So
Hmm.
it's either like you pay your time or you pay money. I'd much rather pay money a lot of the time,
Yeah.
um, which is why obviously we work with yourself. But that was one misconception.
Hmm.
Another is that ads is just, you put money in, you get money out. Even though at a high level, that's what it is.
Yeah.
There's so much more that goes into it, the intricacies. And
Hmm.
if you're not primed to understanding how it works, meaning if you're not a specialist in ads, I'd just say leave it alone, get someone in that is,
Yeah.
so that you can focus on the other aspects of the business that need your focus and attention. Um, so yeah, those are the misconceptions. What was the other part of the question?
So it was, were you surprised about my service or anything in regards to it?
Yeah, was I surprised about the service? What surprised me? I would say the almost like the ability to solve problems. So let's say now, for example, we recently switched from running cold traffic straight to like a call.
But
I
cool.
don't know if that's too much like jargon for
No, no,
customers.
no.
Basically, we went from one method to another
Yeah.
based on what Midday was able to describe and explain to me. So
Hmm.
in terms of